Hey guys, how are you today? Give me 1 second. I'm going to go live on YouTube as well. But if you're catching this in a replay, this is going to be a game-changing live video today because you guys, we got to talk about this stuff. We have to talk about this stuff. Okay, let me make sure I am live on YouTube. Hey YouTube, how are you today? Okay, quick introduction so we can get this out the way. My name is Krista Tyus. I am an enrolled agent by the Internal Revenue Service, and I also teach tax and accounting professionals how to utilize Facebook, Instagram, Google, LinkedIn, all the social medias, and get more clients consistently so that they can scale to multiple six figures. So welcome. If you're new to me, go ahead, subscribe. I come out with weekly content. I have a ton of free training as well as free classes that you can find on certifiable.com, right? So we'll put some links there below. So guys, I needed to connect with you, right? So I am on IG, I am on YouTube. I needed to connect with you because I want to forewarn you on what's about to transpire over the next 12 to 18 months, okay? You already been hearing recession. Type a 1 in the chat if you've heard the term or the word recession at least 10 times since last week. Okay, type a 1 in the chat if you are tired of hearing the word recession. I know I am. I am tired every time I pull up CNN, Yahoo Finance, I pull up Instagram, all of your favorite influencers are talking about this glorious recession that we are coming into, okay? And so here's what I want you to know, right? In times of economic downturns like recessions, where spending starts to contract, you're either going to be the seller or you're going to be the buyer, right? And so what you're going to find happening is that a lot of people are going to ramp up their marketing efforts, right? They're going to be telling you that this recession is coming and that you need to be doing this bright, shiny thing over here. You need to be, doing all of these things, right? I can name you 1,000,001 ways on how you can make additional revenue within your business, right? And what's going to happen is you're either going to be the person that's going to be consuming all of this content and being the buyer, handing these people your hard-earned money, or you're actually going to get up and show up and sell yourself, right? You're going to sell your services yourself, right? And what I find is that because we as tax and accounting professionals, we're more so introverted than anything. We don't like promoting ourselves, right? Type a 2 in the chat if you can't even stand the thought of going live on Facebook or going live on YouTube or reaching out to people you don't know, talking to strangers, right? Type a 2 in the chat if you're just like, it cringes for you to think that you have to show up on social media consistently, okay? Most of my clients are like that, right? Most of my clients, they do not enjoy putting themselves out there. They don't enjoy reaching out to people and letting them know how they can provide value. They don't enjoy going live, right? All of this stuff is scary. These are marketing and sales activities, right? But let me tell you, in a time where people are becoming more contracted in their spending, this is a time that you as a tax and accounting professional, you need to step into your marketing powers, right? So here's what I want you to know. I have wrote down some notes for myself. Number one, we need to look at what are our considerations, right? So number one, if you haven't totally got a handle of your cash flow, you need to figure out how to do that now. So for example, I pulled up Intuit. Intuit is the major corporation that owns QuickBooks and TurboTax and all of the tax and accounting softwares, right? The majority of them. I pulled up their revenue over the past couple of years. And what you're going to find is a cash flow cycle, right? Type in chat, when do you think Intuit, the owner of QuickBooks and TurboTax, when do you think they make the majority of their revenue? Type in chat. I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds to type this in chat. When do you think Intuit makes the majority? What time of year does Intuit make the majority of their revenue? I want you to type in chat. Let's see. Come on, guys. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Yes. So Candace said the first year. Somebody said all year. So it's actually, yes, Jennifer, you got it. is actually during tax season, right? So I have Intuit's trending 12 months, right? They make the majority of their money from January to April, right? So this year they made $5.6 billion, right? Now, their next profitable quarter is the fourth quarter of the year, right? So you got October, November, December. That's when they made $2.6 billion, right? And then their least profitable quarters are now, right? Is the second and especially the third quarter. Like right now, we just got into the third quarter of the year. This is Intuit's the largest, holder of tax and accounting products. They make the least amount of money this quarter. So what do you think that means for you and I as tax and accounting professionals? If we can look at one of the top publicly traded companies in the country in the tax and accounting space, if they make the least amount of their money in the third quarter, what does that mean for us? Yeah, that means we make the least amount of money in the third quarter, right? Like our cash flow cycle mirrors Intuit's. Right? If you pull up your cash flow, if you've been in business for longer than 12 months and you pull up your cash flow, right? You pull up your month over month trends analysis or your quarter over quarter, you're going to see that your income drastically increases in January, February, March, and April, right? But the majority of your money is going to come from the first quarter, January, February, and March. You're going to see a slight decrease in the second quarter. You're going to see a drop off in the third quarter. And then you're going to see it pick back up in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is when those businesses, they're just now starting to, think about filing their extensions, right? So if they are a C corporation or partnership, September, October is when those filing extension deadlines are come due. These folks are also thinking about their last minute bookkeeping services, right? They're thinking about their cleanups and holy crap, we haven't been keeping our books for the past, 7-10 months. Okay. And so this is where businesses start to be more attentive to their bookkeeping and tax situation is in the fourth quarter. So I want you to understand that we have a very specific cash flow cycle. And if you haven't been monitoring your cash, if you haven't been putting reserves away for now this third quarter, you're more than likely going to experience some sort of cash crunch, right? Because this is where your income is going to drastically drop. And it's just seasonal, guys, right? Every business has peaks and valleys in their business. This is not anything that's unique to the tax and accounting industry. We can look at, the trends analysis for Amazon, for example, and I can guarantee there are some peaks and valleys in their cash flow cycle, right? They probably make a lot of money in the fourth quarter, right? This is the holiday season. This is where more people are buying gifts, right? It's Christmas, Thanksgiving, all those major, holidays. And then they probably experience some sort of dip come January, February. So like their cash cycle is still very similar to ours in most instances, right? Everybody has a cash flow cycle. The key that you want to understand is that when will you need a reserve and how much reserve do you need for times where your business is going to dip, like the third quarter? Now, the second thing that I want to bring to your attention is that I don't want you to get consumed in too much education, right? So I see a few of you guys are in my EA program. A few of you guys are, taking a lot of continuing education credits. This is what you're supposed to be doing, right? You're supposed to be enhancing your skill set. You're supposed to be investing in your knowledge, right? But what I've been finding when I've been talking to you guys is that you're so consumed in your education that you aren't doing any marketing right now. You're not getting any clients. You're not putting yourself out there. Right? Type a 3 in chat if this is you. If you're like, Krista, I've been so focused on studying for the EA that I haven't done really that much marketing, right? Krista, I've been so focused on, getting all of my required licensing and, starting my business that I haven't really been focused on doing my marketing and sales. Type a 3 in the chat if that's you. Okay. I see Jennifer is my OG. She's participating. Okay. Hey, Jen. So listen, I really want for you guys to not get caught up in just focusing on your education, right? Because education is going to help you make more money, right? we can agree, like if you become an enrolled agent or if you're going for your CPA license, that all in turn is going to help you eventually make more money. You're going to be more confident, you're going to be more knowledgeable, you're going to take on better clients. But what I don't want you to negate, I don't want you to lose out right now on earning revenue because you're so focused on your education, right? Right now, you should be prioritizing both. So I typically recommend spend 2 hours per day towards your education, right? 2 hours per day studying to become an enrolled agent, 2 hours per day, researching tax law, pulling up various publications, and then 2 hours on your marketing. As much time as you spend studying tax law, you need to spend marketing. Can we do this? Can we do this? Right? So if you spent, I think I see Richie. Hey, Richie. Richie is about to become an enrolled agent by the Internal Revenue Service. He's been studying super hard this weekend. But I was going to say, Richie, if you spent, let's just say 6 hours studying for the special enrollment examination, you need to spend an equivalent 6 hours on your marketing this week. So what type of marketing strategies can you guys do this week, right? Start typing in chat for me. I'm going to start naming out some. One, let's look at some evidence is what I want to say, right? You can look at other successful tax and accounting pros. A lot of them are my past clients, right? You can look at some other tax and accounting pros and you can kind of see what have they been doing over the past couple of months? How have they been showing up online, right? So, if you haven't been doing video, for example, if you never did a video, if you haven't been consistent with video, that's one of the marketing strategies that you need to be consistent with, right? Why would we want to stay consistent with video, right? Because guess what's happening? Everybody's talking about, the economy, the shift, the recession, but nobody's talking specifically to the individual business owner from a tax perspective, right? From an accounting and bookkeeping perspective, from a cash flow perspective. There are very few people that are stepping up to the plate and educating niche consumers. So what that means is, let's just say your niche is construction. Well, how is the economy affecting your construction clients, right? What do they need to be paying attention to? What credits are available to them? I recently got a really unique email just recently, right? Somebody who I don't know cold emailed me, and what they sent me, they said, hey, Krista, did you have employees? Are you already taking advantage of the employee retention credit? Type 1 in chat if you guys heard of the ERC, the employee retention credit. Right. So what they said in this email, they said, have you applied for your grant as part of the CARES Act? Originally, you could only apply for one of the 2 relief programs, most of which chose the PPP stimulus. However, as of 2021, you can now apply for both. Eligibility for the ERC is not only determined by experiencing revenue reduction. So they go on to say that, you can claim up to $5,000 per employee for 2020, up to $7,000 per employee per quarter for 2021, and that this is a refundable tax credit. Type in chat, what is a refundable tax credit? Because you got 2 types of credits. You got your refundable tax credits and your non-refundable tax credits, right? So here's what I want you to take away from this. This person that sent me this, they're offering to get me the ERC, the employee retention credit, and I guarantee you he's going to try to take a percentage of that credit. I guarantee you, if I think I probably had 2 or 3 employees all of last year, right? So if I get $7,000 per employee per quarter, that's a lot of freaking money, right? So I could potentially be getting back like $84,000 in a refundable credit from the employee retention credit from the ERC program. One, this is a beautiful program that we need to dig into, right? We need to be digging into this. But here's what I want you to take away from this scenario. This person is marketing their services. I didn't know them. They cold emailed me. But guess what? It was so specific. They led with value. I clearly can understand how much money this would mean to me. And I'm like, why haven't I done this for myself yet? Right? Why haven't I done this for myself? right? So guess what I'm about to do later today? I'm about to do my own ERC, right? And then like it's going to be a whole class for us to do it together, right? But this is what I'm talking about. This is, you know, if they get me back $80,000 in a credit and they take 5 of that or $10,000 of that, how many ERC clients would you need to make, you know, up to $100,000 over the next couple months? You only need a few. You only need a few. If you're charging them, you know, 5, 10, 15%, or maybe you're just charging them a flat fee, right? You're going to charge them a flat fee of maybe $5,000 based upon how many employees they help you receive the employee retention credit for, right? So this can easily be thousands of dollars in revenue just on one tax strategy, right? This is just one credit that is probably underutilized right now, right? And so here goes back, or here we go, going back to what we started off in the beginning. We have to prioritize marketing, guys. Yes, we need to be learning this stuff. We need to be educating ourselves, getting our licenses, but we also need to be actively pursuing clients and making some revenue. So if we go back to this example with the employee retention credit guy, right, who's going to help me just apply for this one credit and probably take a huge fee from it. If we go back to this, we can create packages that we can offer our ideal clients right now in the third quarter. This could just be one of them. This is just one strategy that we can use to go and offer small businesses that have had employees to get them this credit and charge a great flat fee for the value, right? The second thing is what other services, right? What other services can we provide value on? So this is what I mean. Let's go back. People right now are going to be selling you a lot of stuff. I mean, you're going to see webinars and master classes and new products and new courses. And all the while, you want to make sure that you're doing the same thing. There's nothing wrong with selling, right? But you don't want to be just sold to. You want to be out there selling your services, providing value, generating revenue, making sure that you make some money right now during this third quarter, because we're already about to experience a decline just because it's seasonal. It has nothing to do with the recession. We're naturally just going to experience a decline in our revenue in the third quarter. So this means that you have to go even a little bit harder if you want to sustain a bare minimum of revenue for yourself and your company. We have to start showing up on video. We have to start cold messaging and emailing people. Like, it's simple, guys. Like, I don't know where he got my email from, but I'm sure if you just Google me, you guys all can find my email address, right? Like, this stuff is not rocket science, but guess what? One cold email could result into thousands of dollars in fees for him, right? Or for you, right? One cold message on Instagram or on Facebook could result in a monthly reoccurring client. So I need you guys to get outside of your box, right? Like right now, I feel like you guys are contracting and you're like, oh, I just want to study and oh, I just want to learn. But yes, that's beautiful. But now is also the time to provide value. The time is now to actually start marketing and selling your services, right? So let me go back to my notes. The other thing that I have written here is making marketing and sales your default, right? So here's what I do. You have to have what's called power activities, right? Your power activities is your video, right? Your outreach, right? And this is what I call your hunting and farming. So for those that are in my marketing program, we call this hunting and farming. These are all your power activities, right? Talking to people. So one of the things, let's see, what did he say? He said, ERC is a refundable tax credit. Would you be interested in starting the process to get your refund? Look at that. He's like, would you be interested in starting the process to get your refund? Yes, Joe, I would be interested in getting my refund of $7,000 per employee per quarter. Absolutely. So my first response, right, before I stopped myself to hit send, I was like, yes, what are the next steps, right? But this is the power of marketing. This is the power of like, not even like being a value add. This was a value added email for me. And I'm sure this is not the first time I got an email like this, but this is a value added marketing strategy for me. I clearly see the value on this. So you need to be doing this several times per day. I tell my clients at least 25 messages like this per day, right? 25 messages like this per day is what is going to start to book clients on your calendar, right? Get people to actually respond to you, okay? So the other thing that I have written here is, let's see, monitoring your expenses. So here's my last thing before we close out this quick video. We already talked about our cash flow cycle, right? Our cash flow cycle mimics Intuit's, right? We're very profitable in the first quarter. It goes down a little bit in the second quarter. It drastically drops in the third quarter, and then it's going to pop back up in the fourth quarter, right? This is our cash flow cycle. So right now, not only do you need to be thinking about marketing and sales and doing your hunting and farming activities, but now you need to make sure that you're monitoring your expenses right now in the third quarter. And just period going forward. So one of the things that you want to look at, obviously employees, contractors, they're one of your largest expenses. So we can look at, well, who do we may have to furlough right now to save on our cash and to decrease our expenses so that we can increase our net income, right? So who may we have to furlough right now? I was talking to a few of you and you're like, hey, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to, I think it was Abraham, actually, that might have said this. He was like, yeah, I'm going to have to furlough my contractors, even though I love them. I'm going to have to furlough them for a few months, right? Until we get past our decline season, right? And this is natural, guys. So you need to look at, what expenditures have you been, incorporating in your business that you need to might cut back on, right? This is also for software, right? That you might not be utilizing. You want to look at automatic reoccurring payments that's been coming out of your account. I did a list probably like last year of all the automatic charges that were coming out of my account, and about half of them I was not using, right? Like, I don't remember the last time I've been to Planet Fitness, but Planet Fitness has been taking the same like $20 from my account for like 4 years now. Like they made a lot of money off of me, and I don't even go to that gym anymore. So something like that, where that's $20, but when you times that by 5, 10, 15 other expenses, that stuff adds up. I had calculated like $1,200 a month just in subscriptions that I don't even really use, right? So I had to cancel them off, right? I had to cancel them off. And if it's something that I truly need, it'll become apparent. It'll be like, oh no, I need that. Let me get that back, right? So I need you guys to do the same thing. Look at all of your expenses from your contractors, your employees, your subscriptions, and the software that you're paying for. And you want to cut to the bare minimum, right? You want to only have what you need. You want to operate with only the essentials in your business right now. Only the essentials. And I would say going forward, this is going to be a really test for you guys to start truly managing your cash flow, right? Type in chat if you have cash to sustain you for the rest of the year from tax season. Type a 1 in the chat if you actually have enough money to sustain you for the remainder of the tax season. Type a 2 in chat if you're like, no, Krista, I'm going to need some more money before next tax season comes up. I'll be honest, number 2 is me. 2 is me, okay? We need to get some more money up in here until next tax season, right? 2 is me. So I want you guys to let me know. 1, kudos to you. If you like, yep, Krista, I got enough money to last me for the next 6 months, then I am so proud of you. I'm very proud of you. But if you're a 2 like me, some people are like 2. If you're a 2 like me, it's not that you're not good at money, right? It's not that you're not good at saving money, making money. I think what happens is, and I had to look at my own situation, you just get off track. You stop taking your eyes off of your focus, off of the prize. And that's what happened to me. And so now I'm looking at, okay, well, what mistakes have I made? Where did I go wrong as far as my own cash flow, right? My own cash flow savings. Where did I get too, zealous at, right? Because I think when you are like a high growth company, and you're trying to reinvest all your money back into your business, you can get a little off track, right? If you don't monitor your cash properly. And so this is what happened, is that a lot of people, they start reinvesting all of their money back into their business, right? Back into their education, back into marketing and advertising and all the things that you might need for your business, without truly measuring, is the money that you're spending, is it keeping up with your income? Right. And now you get into a position where you're actually spending more than what you're making. And this is where your cash flow starts to deplete. So we want to make sure that, if you're in that position, if you're like, hey, yeah, I made a little bit mistakes, no worries. Okay, let me be the first to tell you, it happens to the best of us, right? You have companies, you have major corporations that this happens to every single day. The cash it gets away from you. It does. Right? You have corporations that all of a sudden they have to lay off 300 people, right? I forget what company. Type in chat if you guys know what company that was. But I think it was Netflix. Netflix just laid off 300 people. Right? Amazon is now starting to contract, and they're not hiring as much as they were before, maybe last year, right? This is normal. It's normal for a company to go through kind of like these peaks and valleys in these cash flows. But what we want to do, we want to be more disciplined, and we want to make sure that we always have a reserve, right? There's always at least 6 months reserve put away somewhere that we can't even see or touch right now, right? And so let's get into the habit of making sure that every dollar that you make now in the third and fourth quarter and going into next tax season, let's make a habit of taking 20% of that and putting it into a savings account and not touching it. I don't care if you're going to be short on one bill, right? I'd rather you take that 20% and go without Netflix, or go without, I obviously don't make it no essential, like your heat or nothing like that. But we really have to start managing every dollar that we get. I told you guys, and I mentioned this several times, that when I read Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover, he said, if you can't manage $1, you can't manage $1 million, right? And that's when I started taking like 20, 30, 40, 50% of every dollar I was making and put it into a savings account, right? And so what happened, I did that for years. And then my business started to experience all this growth, all this income. And I was, you just start frolicking in the pastures, right? And you forget, like, I haven't been saving as much as I needed to, right? I haven't been putting money back into my savings, because you get comfortable. So I want this to also be a constant reminder. I'm being transparent with you guys on my mistakes, and I want to be obedient and let you guys know that if you're in this position, that it's okay, but now let's be better, right? Every dollar that you make from here on out, we got to put 20% minimum up in a savings account. Somebody pays you, $100 tomorrow, immediately $20 is going to go into your savings account. Okay. So this is how we're going to make sure that we're going to weather these storms, and we're going to prepare ourselves for these cash flow cycles. So next year in 2023, this third quarter, you guys are going to have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank account. And this is just going to be a smooth process for you. It's going to be a smooth transition, because you're going to have saved 20 to 30% of your income in this quarter, the fourth, and the first quarter of next year, when your revenue is really going to spike up. Okay. So type in chat, what did you get from this video? What aha moments did you get? I see all my people typing in the chat. Man, I love you guys. And I want this third quarter, I don't want it to be a strain for any of you. I want this third quarter to be like, like I sold packages, I was selling bookkeeping, I was selling the ERC credits. Like, I'm about to do my ERC credit tonight. And I swear to God, I'm coming back to my community, and I'm teaching all of you guys how to do this. And we're going to help so many businesses get the ERC credit, right? Money that is due to them that they don't know about, that they haven't applied for. And you're going to get blessed in return for helping these businesses get that credit, right? Type 1 in the chat if you're like excited about that, because I know I am. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Oh, Richie says he got a church back 15K. Let's go, Richie. Let's go. Absolutely, Sharice. Yes. So we have to pay for continuing education. We have to pay for our business, but I just don't want you guys to forget your marketing. I just don't want us to forget about like making revenue, helping people, you know, market as much as I'm studying. Yes. So let's see what you guys are saying over here on IG. Thank you, Jennifer. Oh, you guys are really coming over here on the chat. Hey, Nora. Jennifer says 100K by the end of the year. Let's go. Let's go. You guys are typing one in the chat. Like, yes, you guys are excited about the ERC credit. Absolutely. Like, this is going to be, listen, we're going to find ways to get value always. Someone says, Tracy says, I do that every few months because so can't stand wasting money. I have an expense spreadsheet. Yes, Tracy. Tracy got a whole expense spreadsheet. She says she pays her bills. She tracks everything. And this is powerful, right? And I can't wait to talk more about this, right? Like just how I've been making sure that I'm like, I do my own CFO services, right? And I can't wait until I talk about this and I teach this on how we've actually been navigating, just all of our different KPIs, right? From employees to our software to taxes, right? Taxes is a huge deal over here, okay? And then how we can constantly manage that with our cash flow, right? Understanding our cash flow cycle, right? Understanding how to leverage debt. That is a real thing, right? How to make our companies, not only for yourself, but for your clients, how to make them more attractive to actually leverage debt. Not only, them getting the money or the funding that they need, but learning how to manage that, right? I was just, creating a part of my cash flow management training today, and I came up with my acronym called M&Ms, right? I said, we need to focus on our M&Ms, which is our multiplier and our management, right? So when you're receiving income, no matter if it's income from service and client generated income that you get from your clients and for selling your products and services, or if it's from debt, right? Or even if it's from angel investing, somebody investing in your company, if we're receiving money, we need to truly understand our M&Ms, which is what is a multiplier of this money, right? Before we spend money, we need to really look at what's the ROI for this. Each hire that I have, it's like, what's the direct ROI? If I'm paying $1,000 a week, I need to know how I'm going to be making $2,000 a week or $3,000 or $4,000 a week off of that employee's efforts, or how that's going to translate into future income, right? So any dollar that we get that we're going to spend out, we need to make sure that there's a multiplier attached to it. The second M of my M&M strategy that I can't wait to dive deeper into is the management aspect, right? Well, I don't know who said this. I think I was watching like Sarah Jakes Roberts, and she said something to the effect of, and sorry if it wasn't Sarah, but somebody said something to the effect of, you keep repeating your calling or something like that, something to this effect. Like our cycle of whatever we repeat, whatever mistakes we constantly repeat is typically our calling. And I said, okay, God, well, my calling is cash management. Okay. My calling is understanding how to understand your cash flow cycle, how to run your trends analysis, how to make sure you have revenue available, right? Cash flow available for down seasons, right? How to make sure that you have revenue available for shifts in the economy. And so I said, okay, God, I got the message. This is something I keep repeating over and over and over and over again. I'm like, this is my calling. It's my calling now to communicate to my community how not only can you make money, right? Because I've been focusing a lot on teaching you guys how to get clients, right? How to make $5,000 a month, $10K a month. There are a dozen or more of my students that are making $20,000 and $30,000 plus per month, right? Not only can you make that money, but now it's like, guys, we got to manage this money, right? We got to multiply our money. So the M&Ms is something I'm going to be talking so much about. Managing and multiplying your money is the next level. After you know your marketing, now what you're managing and you're multiplying. Okay, look at me with the alliteration. Hey guys, you guys are amazing. I love y'all so much. Okay. All right, guys. So I just want to hop in here really quick because I just wanted to leave you with this word that was on my heart. It says sell or be sold. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be selling to you right now, rightfully so, because they're trying to secure the bag for themselves and their families. But I don't want you to get so caught up in just consuming that you forget to be the seller. You forget to, show up on video, to do a live training like this, to reach out to prospective clients and offer them your valuable services. I want you to sell, especially right now in the third quarter. I want you guys to be the sellers. And so you can look at everybody that's selling to you. You can say, okay, I see what she's doing, or I see what he's doing. Shout out to them, right? Shout out to them. But guess what? I'm selling too, right? I'm providing value too. I'm providing services too. This is where I want you guys to be at. And I don't want you to be afraid to sell, especially right now in the third quarter. Okay. So really quick, if you need more marketing support, you can now join all of my marketing training for just $97 per month. Go to certifiable.com, click on the little banner that says get your all access pass, and join the $97 per month training, because this is where I'm going to be talking about all of my classes. We're going to talk about the ERC credit, how to offer that, how to offer CFO services. We're going to talk about marketing strategies, right? I'm going to show you this marketing email that this gentleman sent me. And we do what works, guys. That's one thing my mentor said. He always used to tell me, he's like, Krista, stop trying to reinvent the wheel, right? He's like, do what works. And so I'm going to show you this man's email, and I'm going to break it down for you to show you how powerful this simple message was and how we can make it our own, how we can duplicate this process and now be even more strategic, right? Because we're going after niche clients. So now our messaging is going to be even more heightened. It's going to reach our end consumer. It's going to penetrate them a lot deeper than just sending it to just any old business owner, right? And this is just one marketing strategy, guys, right? So I want you guys to get excited to sell right now, especially during this time, right? Especially during the third quarter. I want you guys to get excited about this, right? And get fired up that you're going to make tens of thousands of dollars from now until the end of this third quarter. It's actually going to be a record-breaking quarter for you. Okay. We could change our paradigms. Okay. We could change our paradigms. So I can't wait to be working with you guys. I will see you on another video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.